And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray, back from Whalers Cove and in the studio with rock cod Rick Maxa. And we have the man from NOAA, Craig Heberer, is here, and we are going to be talking some fishing. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
The new Shimano Torium HG is here, and you'll be able to experience this fantastic reel now at your local Shimano dealer. The new Torium is up to 30% smaller than the previous generation, but still has the same line capacity. The smaller S compact body design and one-piece die-cast aluminum frame provides more rigidity and lighter weight. Torium now has EI surface treatment and is tested up to 700 times the corrosion resistance of past models. The new Shimano Torium HG is not only better on the outside, the inside is amazing, with a cross-carbon drag providing up to 24 pounds of drag pressure from a Star Drag reel. It has a sealed roller clutch and 6.2 to 1 brass gears. The machined aluminum handle has a larger knob to make it easy to crank in the big fish. The new lightweight aluminum spool gives you better casting and control. Available in 3 sizes, the Torium HG is the next evolution in compact, rigid, and powerful saltwater Star Drag reels. Get it now at your local Shimano dealers.
I'm very excited to share my experience with the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit I just installed on my boat. I've been a Simrad electronics fan for many years and always enjoyed the ease of use and incredible technology. Last year I installed the new 4G broadband radar and could not believe the difference. So this year I upgraded to the new NSS Evo 2 and it's amazing. With an easy to use tablet style interface that's fresh but familiar, the Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. The core of any marine electronic for me is how it marks fish, and the new NSS Evo 2 with built-in Sonar Hub sounder technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. Now, the true test is whether I need to pick up the manual to figure it out. And guess what? The new Simrad gear is so easy, I didn't need it. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system I'd like to tell you, but best to just go to your local Simrad dealer and check it out. Or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
My Angler H2O. I will scent my lure with pride. And hope my boss doesn't notice the tan. I will outmaneuver drought-exposed sunken boats and outlast the hard-fighting largemouth bass. I will save water at home for better fishing out here. And always wear my life jacket.
What's your H2O? Tell us at BoatCalifornia.com. The California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways reminds you to wear it, California.
Summer has finally arrived, bringing warmer waters our way. And you know what that means? The offshore fishing this season could be one of the best ever. And speaking of best ever, have you seen the new 2015 Ford F-150? It's the most advanced F-150 ever, which is even more good news for fishermen. One of my favorite features is the available 360-degree camera. It lets you see everything around you, which really comes in handy when you're trying to launch on a crowded dock. It's also the first truck ever to be built with military-grade aluminum alloy. That means the new F-150 is up to 700 pounds lighter to accelerate faster and stop quicker. It also hauls more and tows more. And get this, it does it all more fuel efficiently. I highly recommend taking one out for a test drive. The new F-150 is the best thing to happen to fishermen in San Diego since the barbed hook. So stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Yes, indeed. Back after that call in yesterday. Yeah, we made it. And I was walking around the Juneau airport yesterday when we got there in a T-shirt. That's the kind of weather we left in Alaska. And, of course,
Which
the
is
liquid...
very not Pete Gray
yeah,
weather.
Yeah, I know.
Not,
Dude, I'm telling you, It was so typical Pete Gray Alaska weather when we got there on Tuesday. Pouring rain, 100% chance of rain.
100%.
We got on the ferry on Wednesday morning, and by the time we reached the lodge, it started to lighten up a little bit. And by the time we got breakfast and got on the boats and went fishing, it was virtually non-existent.
How
and then
cool, dude.
Thursday and Friday and Saturday, I got to say, are three of the most gorgeous days I've ever seen in Alaska. Not a breath of wind, crystal clear. Well, on the ferry yesterday, going back to Juneau after I talked to you yesterday, you could see the entire Brooks Range that surrounds Glacier Bay from the channel as we came into Juneau. It was just absolutely spectacular.
How cool, dude.
Yeah, it was a great trip, and the fishing was great. The people were great. The lodge was great. We talked about it yesterday, but we've got Craig Heberer from NOAA here, and we've got a lot to talk about with Craig, so we'll talk more about Whalers Cove and our amazing adventure and your opportunity to go with us next year. Good morning, Craig.
What's up, Craig?
Good morning, guys, and thank you for having me back in studio. It's been a lot happening.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time to come. You've got a crazy schedule. First of all, you've been a part of our family here for a long time, and your job has changed a bit here recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, so starting towards the beginning of 2015, I accepted a position as the West Coast Recreational Fisheries Coordinator, so I'm covering California, Oregon, and Washington. Previously, I'd worked for about 10 years with the commercial and recreational tuna, billfish, and shark fisheries. So I'm still doing a little bit of both jobs, but more and more focusing entirely on recreational fishing, which has been a great segue, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
One of the cool things about Craig is that he's a recreational fisherman. You are a true recreational fisherman. You just got off the Royal Star, right?
I did. And we did August 1st through 8th, and we were a pleasure to be with Captain Ekstrom and his crew for another week. And we had, as always, great time, excellent boat, great crew, great fishing. We got back into that tuna up in the U.S. waters for the last day of our trip, and so it was another great trip. Sea bass, yellowtail, bluefin, yellowfin. You can't go wrong with that combination.
Now, we discussed before the show this morning the limit thing, because there were some guys on our boat from Santa Cruz, and we were talking about albacore, which they have an albacore off of Central California. Morro Bay's got an albacore. And Harold Davis, of course, was there.
Hey, man, when you were gone, we caught albacore down here. No biggie.
Did you?
Yeah, Tribute got one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
The albacore is biting.
The albacore is biting, but it's really biting north of Point Conception, I guess.
That's cool.
So it's different. I didn't know this, but there's different limits north and south of Point Conception, right?
There are, and
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so a few years back when albacore stock assessment had shown that, maybe we were getting to the point of full exploitation in the commercial and rec, we put in some management measures, and one of them was a daily bag limit for albacore.
Because there never was a daily bag limit back in 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, correct. Not on the federal side. Again, when we talk about NOAA, we're in that area from 3 miles out to 200 miles, and then we work with our co-manager, Cal Fish and Wildlife and Oregon Fish and Wildlife for those interstate waters. And typically we pass regulations that conform with each other so that anglers don't have to have two sets of regulations per se for many of the species. So for north of Point Conception, it's 25 albacore per day. South of Point Conception, it's 10 albacore per day. That break was put in recognizing that in Central and Northern California, the number of fishing days because of weather is reduced. And typically they like to fish and then, home can, and they really kind of go out to get supplies for their year, where we have more window of opportunity to fish. So we made that differential bag limit. Bluefin tuna, as many of you out there know, is now 2 fish per day, and that was from a previous 10 fish per day.
So I'm going to interrupt you real quick because we're going to go live to the eclipse right now. Captain Adams on the line. Good morning, Captain.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing this morning?
Hey, doing great. Sorry to leave you on hold there for a while, but things are going on, right?
Oh yeah, it was happening yesterday. I know it wasn't quite for everybody, but we seemed to not be able to make a wrong turn yesterday. Yesterday was really, really good. We had multiple stops for 30, one for 60, one for 80, like right about at dark there. So we ended our 2.5 day with 275 yellowfin tuna. It's all 18 to 47 pounds.
Whoa!
Nice job, man.
What
That's
a
awesome.
day, man. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, guys. We ended our drift last night. We were only 14 miles from home at the end of our drift yesterday.
That's so cool.
So, Adam, does it seem to be an afternoon bite?
For us, it was kind of steady throughout the day yesterday. Day before that, it was definitely afternoon. But yesterday it didn't really seem to matter. There were birds up for most of the day. And it was kind of, on the picking turns. We were kind of going spot to spot. And, we were getting lots of reaction. We had some decent bait. Bait guys have been doing a really good job getting us some located bait with all the boats going out. So we were psyched. We had a great trip.
That's fantastic. Awesome. Now, any opportunities to climb aboard the Eclipse or Commander? Of course, the Eclipse, beautiful vessel out of C4 Sport Fishing, the Commander out of Fisherman's Landing. Any opportunities?
I believe we have a couple open party trips coming up through the landing. I know we have a day and a half coming up. I don't think we put it on the schedule just yet, but you guys can go book that trip on Seaforth Online. That one's at the end of the month, I believe, the 27th.
Whoa.
We have a day and a half, and it's going to be through Seaforth Sport Fishing. So kind of just opened this trip up because we had a charter fall off, so we're opening it up for you guys.
Rare opportunity to climb aboard the Eclipse. Always booked up, one of the top vessels in the fleet at a C4 Sport Fishing show. Just go to seaforthlanding.com and book that trip right online.
Yep, sounds good. Or either that or you can give the girls in the office a call, 619-995-6880.
All right. Thanks for the check. Congratulations on your day. Way to get them.
Yeah, nice job,
Adam.
Adam.
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy your day.
12 miles.
How cool is that?
Huh?
With like a 90-fish stop to end the day at 12 miles.
So we're talking about regulations. We're talking about federal guys, NOAA, yourself, regulating 3 to 200 miles. State regulating 0 to 3 miles. What happens if you catch a tuna 2 miles from home?
Yeah, then you have these conforming regulations. You're still bound by 2 bluefin per day. Yellowfin, just with the report we had, there's 10 fish per day per angler. That's the bag limit there. And the California multi-day certificate is still in place. So if you're on a 2-day trip and you apply and get a certificate, you can take 2 bag limits. You're on a 3-day trip, 3 bag limits. But 3 bag limits is the maximum for the bluefin rule. So 6 fish is your maximum if you're on a multi-day of 3 days or longer.
Yeah. So then we're talking about combination bag limits. So you can have a maximum of 20 fish per angler per day, but the bluefin is not included in that.
Correct. So the bluefin and albacore are outside the California's multi-fish bag limit of 20. So yellowfin and big eye, which are 10 per day, are part of that. And then skipjack, the lonely skipjack is unlimited. There's no bag limit on skipjack at this point, and that partly reflects that we don't really get a big shot at skipjack up here for the most part, and a lot of people aren't keeping skipjack. So it's at this point there's not a need for a reg. If there ever gets to be a need, we'd consider it, but we don't want to put a reg in if we don't have to.
Now, you said that the bluefin was not part of that bag limit. Does that mean it's like a Mexico situation where the fish count differently, or they just are completely separate from that 20 fish overall limit?
Completely separate.
Okay, so you could have whatever it may be, 10 yellowtail and 10 yellowfin and 2 bluefin.
Correct.
Which would be a 20 fish limit plus the 2 that are outside of it.
Correct. Your math is good, Rick.
Yeah, yeah. It gets confusing.
But sure, yeah, sure.
So what about big eye? You mentioned big eye. Conditions? I mean, my wife saved me a thing that was in the paper on Thursday. El Nino set to be among the strongest on record with 2.3 degrees Celsius reading, which an El Nino just takes a 0.5 to be considered an El Nino, right? That's
right.
Monstrous.
Yeah, no, and our Climate Prediction Center just on August 13th came out with the latest update, and we're looking at, I believe it's a 90% concurrence is what they're looking at, that this could be a very strong event, as you read in the paper, for late fall, winter, and through the spring of 2016. So that is going to have an impact. And just the other element this year that's different than previous El Ninos is we have what we call this warm water blob that's happening. And this is from Alaska down to California. And it's a very expansive warm watering that happened starting last year that is independent of the El Nino conditions. So these two factors coming together are going to make for a very interesting dynamic to see what happens here.
Certainly. Our guide at Whalers Cove was saying that he's never seen water temperatures like that up there. And and sometimes it was hurting the salmon runs because they're kind of confused, right? It's like It's 57, 58 degrees in the water up there in Alaska. And it's like, wait a minute, it should be about 52, 53. maybe 54. But after a big rain, things changed a little bit, but then it goes right back to being warm again.
And in salmon in particular, given the drought, this historic drought that we've been in, there's been concern on survival of salmon, both in river and what may happen with these events coming up. So we're keeping a close eye on the salmon situation. But
I can imagine.
Some concerns.
Especially in U.S. waters, right? Yeah. So let's talk for a minute about the fillet regulations, because a lot of people are confused about the fillet regulations. Why do we have to do this and all that?
Excellent. Yeah, and before I get into it, there's a fillet guide that we worked in cooperation with Ken Franke and the Sports Fishermen Association of California and Cal Fish and Wildlife. And so there's a pictorial that Ken and Elena have posted on the SAC website, and basically showing you the different cuts that have been required. And so the fillet regulation was put in place because of the need to differentiate between bluefin and yellowfin, which are very similar looking in appearance. And so we held a fillet demonstration for the wardens down at the Seaforth Dock on the Cortez and looked at the various cuts. And this was something they were comfortable with in terms of being able to identify and keep people, legal and within the regs. So we realized that there's extra cuts there than folks are normally comfortable with, but we wanted to at least preserve an opportunity to fillet, because if we weren't comfortable with the ID, then the option was not to have fillet at sea.
Yeah, so you just follow the regulations. There's plenty of material on it around.
Yeah, at the Fred Hall Show, we had a video tutorial. We handed out guides, and also on our NOAA website and our recreational fisheries page, there's information as well. And if anyone needs further information, they can call me as well, and I can walk them through it.
Yeah, indeed. So what about sharks? We were talking about mako sharks, and there's quite the warning right now for anglers taking large mako sharks, right? First of all, they shouldn't do it anyway, but
yeah. And so in prepping for the show, I usually touch bases with our colleagues at the Science Center in La Jolla, and they've done some necropsies on these large mako sharks that have been landed and killed. One in 2013, that 1,300-pound mako. And then in 2015, we had this 730-pound mako that was landed. And both of these sharks had very high mercury, DDT, and PCB toxic loads.
Like dangerous levels.
Unsafe levels that exceed the federal standards for pregnant women in childbearing, and children, and even exceeding limits for adults 45 and over.
Wow.
So the message is threefold. These sharks, when they get to be that size, they're the cream of the crop as far as breeding and providing future generations. And those mako sharks are sea lion eating machines.
Yes.
That 1,300-pounder that they did in the necropsy on had a 4-year-old California sea lion in its stomach.
Sweet.
No kidding.
So
really.
So by killing those animals, by killing those animals, you're taking away the machines that are impacting or keeping in check some of the sea lions that we all continuously have interactions and problems with. Yeah. And then the third part is basically it's an unsafe steak to eat when they get that big. And there's been some people say, well, I donate the steaks and the muscle to charity or my neighborhood or some good cause. Well, you're donating some very toxic meat. So the message out is it's better to let those things swim away.
If you feel the need to kill a shark, kill a small, a juvenile, basically, a less than 100-pound fish.
Correct.
Yeah. Don't kill anything over 100 pounds, because those are the breeders, and they're also potentially toxic. Yeah. I mean, I hate to send a message out like that to kill a mako shark that's 50 pounds or something like that, but it's better than killing the breeders, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, let's get that ethic in, like we have for big calico bass and for other fish. Let's let those big breeders go and sustain the population and keep those sea lions in check.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'd love to see it. Is there ever a chance to have a moratorium on killing sharks?
We have bag limits. We have assessments that we do on the different species. So it's a commercially important non-target catch that has a market value. And as long as we stay within those manageable levels for the species, I think some directed harvest is appropriate and allowed. I think it's just a matter of being smart about it in terms of landing these big breeders now. I think that we don't want to write a reg, Pete, on it. It's always more complicated. We get sued when we write regs left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So having people do it voluntarily is the best practice.
Yeah, good. I mean, I would think that an ethical seafood provider wouldn't want to put out a product that could potentially be toxic too. So why would they sell Mako shark?
But and we have U.S. FDA and agricultural testing on these animals for the public to be safe as well. So there's limits on the level of mercury and that's tested. So the public should be assured that the seafood they are eating from U.S. fisheries is safe seafood.
Okay, very good. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today.
But you're not kidding. You want to talk about a wealth of knowledge. And like Pete said, somebody that's both grown up doing what we do, a recreational fisherman that is now in this job and so full of info, and a great fisherman, and there's so much going on. It's going to be an awesome show. We want you to be a part of it this morning. Give us a call. We would love to hear from you. The best way to do that is with our local line, which is 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090. Open right now. Or you can reach us on our toll-free number, and that one's 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Not only going to be taking your calls, not only going to get a chance to talk to Craig, also giving away an awesome prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today. You want to talk about some good fishing going on? There's some great local half-day fishing going on. Today, somebody's going to get to experience that because we're giving away a half-day trip for two aboard the Daily Double out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. It includes all the tackle rental. If you want to bring somebody that doesn't have gear, that gear's going to be taken care of, you're going to get to go fishing with Captain Fred Huber and the whole gang down there. And
big yellow.
Yeah, there's been some great local half-day fishing down in San Diego this year. So someone's going to get to go on that. Again, if you want to get through, 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great fishing information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. Let's talk hookup on the mighty 1090.
Bubba had a dream. If you've heard the advice Scott Sherman from Fifth Avenue Insurance has given anglers over the past couple of years, you know there is much more to your boat insurance than just a low rate. Well, Fifth Avenue Insurance can not only find you the lowest rates on your boat insurance, they also make sure the coverage you get meets all your needs. What if you had an accident with the boat and found out you didn't have proper coverage? Well, that just won't happen when you insure with Fifth Avenue Insurance. Call them for advice on your current boat policy or any of your insurance needs. Fifth Avenue Insurance, 619-640-3130, or check the number 5 THAVEINS.com.
Have you checked out the giant fast lane kayaks in Mission Bay yet? It's hard to miss, right in the middle of Dana Landing, across from SeaWorld in Mission Bay. This massive 5,500 square foot location is loaded with Hobie Mirage Drive kayaks and all the accessories. They also have a great selection of Hobie clothing, stand-up paddle boards, paddles, and more. Check out the new model Hobie kayaks arriving daily and see the great deals on previous year's models. Even test a kayak or stand-up paddleboard right out their back door on Mission Bay. When it comes to Hobie kayaks, no one does it better than the crew at Fastlane Kayaks at Dana Landing across from SeaWorld in Mission Bay. Check FastlaneSailing.com.
Here's what clients are saying about Rick Jensen and the Sport Fishing Financial Group.
My name is Jerry Farmer, and I live here in San Diego. Rick Jensen has successfully managed investments for me for the past 15 years. Before Rick, I worked with financial advisors that led me into bad investments and hid kickbacks they were receiving on the investments. Rick has demonstrated through his attentiveness to my account a great feeling of responsibility to do well for his clients. With Rick, his compensation is reasonable and clear, as are the benefits for the client. For the past 15 years, the cost-benefit ratio has been greatly in my favor.
After learning about Rick and his background and what he's done for his clients, I'm on board. I just opened my own account with Sport Fishing Financial, and I'm very excited about the opportunity.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial Group. Work with me and learn what I can do for you as an investment advisor, and let's go fishing. Give us a call or find us on the web for a complimentary risk analysis, current portfolio analysis, or business retirement plan proposal. Call 949-481-1807 or visit us at sportfishingfinancial.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. A spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate, it's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Gosh, so much to talk about with Mr. Craig Heberer from NOAA. Again, when NOAA's doing regulations on the West Coast, you're involved in all that, right?
If it's a recreational fishing reg, for sure. And you know, like right now I'm working also with the Council, Pacific Fishery Council in the States on a potential fishery for midwater rockfish. So they've done some testing on trying to stay away from the bottom where you have, you know, yellow eye, canary, cowcott, and get up to the midwater where you have, you know, widow rockfish and yellowtail rockfish. So I've been working with that project with the States as well, hopefully giving rec anglers some more options than they have now with rockfish. So
would that be considered a pelagic rockfish?
We call it a midwater.
A midwater, okay, because in Alaska, who is also NOAA sets a regulation for groundfish there too, halibut, rockfish, and stuff like that. It was so confusing because we were catching these midwater rockfish. They called them pelagic rockfish, and you could keep, you know, X number of those, but you could only keep one of those in combination with 2 of those and 4 of those and 3. You know, it's one of those deals. Like, huh? How do you figure all this out? He's like, you need the guidebook, right? Yeah. So it's very, very confusing.
But the beauty of having guys like Craig out there is the other option is like, well, these things are danger to their stress, or whatever. So we're just zero take. And then you got guys like Craig. Well, if we have a descending device and we're targeting this species, well, we can still have this, and you know, or like you said, we can only fish in water at this amount of depth. But then, you know, you got guys that are fishermen that say, hey, look, this fish isn't even in a depth this big, and if we catch these fish with a descending vise, we can release them. So now we can fish in water that's X deep. You know, so it sure is nice having a guy like you on our team out there.
And what kicked off this whole idea was from a fisherman in Oregon, John Holloway, and a bunch of his fellow fishermen in Oregon developed what we call this long leader gear, where they're trying to test it, and they got permits and they went out and they proved that they could catch the abundant, healthy stocks and stay away from the overfished stocks. So, you know, fishermen getting involved in research has always been a win-win, the citizen science, and so we're taking that to the council and deliberating on it. There's no regulations yet, there's no decisions, but we're in the discussion stage right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's certainly, there's a lot of things going on, especially with rockfish and stuff like that, but things are getting better for Californians, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think Rick alluded to it with the use of these descender devices, and for those of you who visited our booth or the Cal Fish and Game booth at the Fred Hall Show, we were giving away these descender devices and showing video clips and information on the research that proves they're effective when you use them in releasing rockfish. And anglers using this device has now led the council to open up more waters to fish in Southern California and other areas because anglers are using these devices.
And they work. Yeah, I use them on my boat. If you're fishing rockfish and you're not using them, you are being irresponsible. Very, very irresponsible. So let's go ahead and jump into those phones.
You got it. Well, why don't we start it off this morning with Don, who's calling us from Woodland Hills. Don, good morning, and thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Craig, had the pleasure of meeting you at the Fred Hall shows this year, and as an angler, having you working with NOAA and managing our fish populations, as an angler, it makes me feel good to have someone like you representing us.
Thank you,
Don. So thank you very much for what you do for us. My question is, there's a lot of information and a lot of misinformation going on with bluefin tuna right now. And my interest is, we have the commission that manages the Eastern Pacific, which is our coastal area. What's the cooperation going on in managing bluefin tuna, which is a very highly migratory species, between, both sides of the Pacific Ocean?
Good question. And that's a great question, Don. And the straightforward answer is yes, there's lots of cooperation going on. And so there's regulatory measures being put in place for both commercial and recreational, domestically and international. So as you alluded to, this bluefin tuna are part of a bigger North Pacific stock. And a lot of the fishery impacts that led to this stock being overfished happened on the western side over in with Japanese fisheries and some other fisheries that have a large percentage of the catch. I like to say 80% of the total catch comes from those fisheries over there. So we're dialing back our fisheries at the same time we're asking other nations through these international forums to do the same. The question is just, the will to do that, the political will for these countries to implement these measures and to follow through on them. So this is always the catch-22, is you can put measures in, but if folks don't follow them and there's no monitoring enforcement, then it's difficult. And I think things are getting better on that front, but I will say the United States has the best managed fisheries, but we also monitor and enforce our fisheries, and that's a key aspect of it.
All right, very good. Awesome. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, how about we head on down to the ranch, find out what's going on down south, one of our favorite places in the world, and that's Rancho Leonero. And we got Gary's on the line this morning, filling in for John. Good morning, Gary.
Hey guys, good morning. How's it going up there?
Oh, doing fantastic. Good. Just anxious to hear what's going on at Rancho Leonero.
Well, I think your guys' fishing is overshadowing our fishing right now, but it's the way it goes. Fishing is okay. I mean, it's nothing wonderful, nothing in particular going off right now. But it's pretty solid. The weather's beautiful, a little bit hot, but, pretty bearable with the midday breeze every day. That kind of takes the edge off the heat. The bill fishing, Heberer had their annual tournament yesterday. There were 40 or 50 boats. They had 12 blue marlin and numerous sails and stripes. I didn't get a count on them because they were, they don't count. They release them. The bite was best off Heberer with a few fish way down south below Freiles. Most anglers targeting billfish are having easy success. A tuna bite opened up down south as well, just off Vinoramas, where there was a mixture of sizes. There was footballs up to, and I'll include the Heberer winner was 89 pounds. So there was some good fishing in there. Dead sardines are working the best, believe it or not, and a few enterprising bait guys are importing them from far and wide. So that's kind of the secret there. If you can get your hands on some dead sardines. I even had some guys bring some down from the U.S. in their coolers, and they work real well. Mixed in there's some wahoo. Fish were taken all week. Also in and around the tuna bite, and a lot of guys, of course, are getting bit off while fishing for tuna, and then sort of rigging up for the wahoo again. But you know how that goes. They chop you off pretty easy.
Oh yeah, but it's good to know there's a lot of wahoo around.
Yeah. We've had a great wahoo beginning of the season, if you recall, sort of May, June, and then it went a little quiet, and now they seem to be coming back. The bottom fishing has been excellent. I've got my buddy Nick Price staying with me at the moment, and he's been out working the lighthouse area there, and he's been getting some big dogtooth snapper, barred pargo, pompano, cabria, and of course there are tons of big triggers around. A lot of the kids are just working the trigger patch. So there's all around pretty good fishing. The rooster fish, like they were a couple of weeks ago, holding in sort of deeper, cooler water about a mile offshore. The best area for them still being that Rincon Bay just past the lighthouse. Pretty solid fishing, but nothing that's in particular really going off at the moment. That's kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah, so when Nick Price is fishing down at Rancho Leonero with you, does he use a golf-shaped kind of fishing rod or a golf club-shaped fishing rod?
No, he's a pretty ordinary guy just like us. He fishes with the regular stuff, I'm afraid.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I know you guys have been friends for a long time, but he's certainly a great guy to have along, and he loves to fish, and that's what we like too.
He loves to fish, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Gary, if somebody wants to come down, it sounds like it's a great time at Rancho Leonero. I know best months are coming up here. The fall time is a fantastic time. Are there still spots available?
We've still got a few slots available. It comes and goes. The weekends fill up pretty quick. Watch our website, rancholeonero.com. There's Jeannie often runs specials. Keep an eye on those. And then, of course, our toll-free numbers, 800-646-2252, and speak to Jeannie or Olivia in the office, and they'll get you set up.
Thanks, Gary. Finger in for John Ireland. We'll talk to you guys next Sunday.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks for the report.
All right. Hey, let's jump right back into the phones. How about we go up to Laguna Niguel and talk to Luke this morning? Good morning, Luke. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Well, good morning.
Hello. Hi, Luke.
Hey, I have two questions. The first is a carryover from yesterday. It was just impossible to get on to talk to Mark.
It was busy.
And then the second about the new fillet regulations. So let me start with the tackle question. And some guys are rigging the flat fall a little differently by tying to the hooks and putting the line through that top ring and then bringing the tag in back up through that top ring. Rick, do you have any experience with that, and does it make a difference?
I'm going to say that I don't. I'm aware that guys have tried to run the line through and tie to the bottom where the hooks go. I haven't heard about going then back up to the top or not, but I'm the hugest believer in the not broke, don't fix it rule, and I think the jig works so good. And I think the reason people are doing that is to try and, have the lure not. The problem is we're catching a lot of bluefin. We're catching bigger bluefin, and bluefin have teeth more so than most of the tuna do, and those things get bit so good on the fall. And when a 40-pound tuna is eating that jig that's sinking and it's small and compact, they suck it down, and your line is rolling over the teeth. So for me, I would just step up my line size at fishing with it. I fished the other day with a piece of 80-pound fluorocarbon to the flat fall, and in no way saw less bites than the guys that I was fishing with 40-pound. In fact, had more bites, probably because I was sticking to it more than the others, but they ate it with a piece of 80-pound fluorocarbon attached, every bit as good. So I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, and I'm sure guys have had success, but personally, I haven't. I haven't done anything other than tie right to the...
And the jig's not designed for that. It's not designed to fish that way.
Right, yeah, I mean, I'm sure guys are, it works so good and it falls so good that I'm sure that it works. But yeah, I would, I think that's the reason guys are doing it, because they do. If you fish that thing enough, you're going to get chewed off, and it's just because they suck it down. I mean, it works so good. But to answer your question, I haven't, Luke.
So what about the fillet regulations?
Okay, so I happened to be on day one of the new fillet regulations and was fortunate enough to get a bigger fish, and found that by keeping the fish intact per the regulation, when it's folded up in the bag, you're really not quite so happy when you get home. So first off, to the listeners, if you get a bigger fish and you have it cut on the boat, I would tell them to put it in a trash bag as opposed to a fillet bag. But now my question is, we also found that when you put the collars and bellies in with them, they often tore the bag because there's some pointy things there, which allowed water to get in. Again, not a good impact to what you want to bring home. So my question to Craig, is it legal to put the collars and bellies in a separate bag tied to the fillet bag?
Well, first of all, thank you for your insights. This is valuable feedback for us. And the answer to your question on whether it's legal to put the bags in a separate or the fillets in a separate bag, yes, you can. So we don't want you to have contaminated meat and lose product quality. So long as the entire bag has a subset of the bag and the parts in it, that would be fine.
So you could have one master bag and then put the collar and the and everything else in a separate bag inside that bag.
Correct. And as far as
what about tied to the outside? Is that still legal too?
No, I think it'd be better to have it on the inside, because then if it gets separated from the bag, then you're going to have to explain to a warden why you have two bags. And So, but the other part is in terms of the larger loins and the doubling issue. You can actually cut through the loin and have it double over without cutting through the skin. So that maybe, hopefully, will solve that problem where you're smashing your meat.
So if your loin's 24 inches long, cut through it, but leave the skin attached, fold the two skin halves together. So it's still connected via skin, but it'll fit into a 12-inch bag.
So that meets the requirement of 4 loins from one fish in a bag.
So you can separate the loins, though. You can quarter the tuna, and then cut it without detaching this.
Absolutely. The wardens just need to see that one bag has one fish, and those fish are made up of these components.
Very good. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Very good question. Captain Drew Card is on the line from the Pacific Queen. Good morning, Drew.
What's up, Drew?
Morning, guys. How's it going this morning?
Doing great. So, how's the fishing?
The fishing is excellent today.
Awesome.
We're on the second day of a 2-day. We had pretty good fishing yesterday. I felt like we were kind of off them. I felt like we had a slow day. We still ended up with 60 of that nicer grade yellowfin. Call it 20 to 30 pounds. 60 of those things is a lot of meat. It's a lot of fish. And we got right on them this morning. We've been kind of drifting since gray. It's good fishing here. We have good school around us. I'd call it a fast plunker bite. At some points we have 10 going. Other times we got 2 going. But very good fishing this morning. Same thing on that better grade yellowfin, 20 to 30 pounds I'd call it. Oh, boiling around the boat. And it's
that's so cool.
Really good fishing out here right now.
Oh, Sal, we can hear the sonar clicking, boils around the boat. How's the weather today, Drew?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's flat calm. And we had good weather yesterday. We had a little bit of breeze in the afternoon, but, not bad at all. And before this trip, I looked at the 7-day forecast, and we're supposed to have beautiful weather for a while. So I think we're in good shape. A lot of fish around. They kind of just racing up and down here. One day they're here, one day they're there, but there's a lot around us, a lot around the boat right now and a lot around, this local area. And, I hear guys on the radio, other guys are catching fish, so it's pretty good fishing right now.
You can tell we're having a great season, as is the Pacific Queen having a great season, when you have a 60-fish day on 30-pound yellowfin and you consider it a slow one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. The quality's insane. And when you say you have 60 fish for your day and it's slow, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know what we have this morning, but we're probably getting close to that by now. We're pretty good fishing. So
7:41.
I would say now's the time to come fishing for sure.
That's
so, any spots available on the Pacific Queen?
In September there is.
Okay. All right. Well, they're going to stick around.
Exactly.
September's less than half a month away, so you want to book a trip. The clue is book now.
Exactly.
You want to go in September, book now on the Pacific Queen. How do we do that, Drew?
You're going to want to call Fisherman's Landing at 619-221-8500, or you're going to want to get on our website at pacific-queen.com. And, yeah, I would say book now. I don't see this getting slower. I think it's only going to get better. And we're probably going to be fishing for a while here, probably late into the fall. So I think booking now for September is a good idea. Our trips are already starting to fill up. A lot of them are half full or nearing full. So especially our weekends. I don't know if we have a weekend available yet left in September. So if you want to go fishing in September on this boat, you want to sign up now and you want to sign up early.
I will say this. We saw the exact same thing happen last year, was that the fishing was so good and you didn't have a spot for 2 weeks. And so guys were hesitant, like, I'm going to wait to make sure it's good. And then 2 weeks would roll up, and, of course, everything's full again, and they would do the same thing and keep putting it off. And the way the season is going with the amount of fish that's around, just book your spot now, because I guarantee you 2 days on the Pacific Queen in September is not going to be a bad time to be on the water. So just book it now before they go away, too.
Captain?
No, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time to be on the water. And we've had slow fishing at times, but, all our multi-day trips, well, you get 2 days to do it. You have a day, like yesterday, like I felt like we had a slow day. But, you can figure it out. We got another day here. I feel like we're a little better positioned. And I just think things are just looking really good. So
that's awesome.
I don't, even though it's been slower, the quality's been insane. And I think, really, we're having a kind of a spectacular year here.
I would say it is a spectacular year. Captain Drew Card from the Pacific Queen, thanks for the check. Keep getting them, Drew.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate you. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more catch reports, all kinds of great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Everyone likes special treatment, kind of feel like a VIP. Well, that's how our listeners are treated at Poway Valley Collision. I have personally heard of several stories of how well our friends Jim and Mary take care of their customers that we sent them. Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them today, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And listen to this. Our listeners get a special discount that can save you hundreds of dollars on your car or truck repair. Just tell them you listen to the show and you get the deal. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, Wawanesa, and more. Just bring your car or truck to them and let Poway Valley Collision do the rest. I have had my truck repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision. Tell them you listen to Let's Talk Hookup, and they'll save you money on your repair. Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.
For East Cape fishing, Jen Wren is known as the best. This is Mark Rayer. Great service, top quality equipment, including all accurate reels, CalStar rods, and Cimarron Electronics has put my immaculately maintained twin-engine cruisers in a class of their own. For memories of a lifetime, just bring your hat and sunglasses and we'll provide a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Our calendar's filling fast, so don't miss out. For packages, 2 live webcams, a weekly fishery report, and more, check out TeamGenRen.com. We pick up at all East Cape resorts, so let's go fishing.
Pete here to tell you about one of my favorite long-range boats, perfect for day-and-a-half to 7-day trips. That's Searcher Sport Fishing. The Searcher offers a top-of-the-line long-range experience at the best value available. The 95-foot Searcher features huge bait capacity, RSW fish holds, and plenty of room at the rail. Chef Charles puts out a spread you will be impressed with, and staterooms are air-conditioned and super comfortable. The crew, top of the line. Check SearcherSportFishing.com for more details and book online today. That's SearcherSportFishing.com. Time for our Power Pro 60-second seminar. And, you know, locally here, Drew, big fish all around.
Seriously.
And when you have big fish in the community, you need the gear to catch big fish. And part of that gear is Power Pro hollow ace, right, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, as far as connections go for heavy lines and big fish fishing, hollow ace is the best braid on the market, period. We get an opportunity at Fisherman's Landing to use everything and work with every type of line. And whenever I'm making a wind-on, be it for myself or for a customer, my first choice is always hollow ace by Power Pro, because I think it's the strongest, but more importantly, the 16-carrier line opens easier, and it makes it a lot easier for you to put your Seaguar fluorocarbon up inside of the hollow spectrum.
Absolutely. And if you like to do pre-made wind-ons and do a loop-to-loop connection, you can loop that thing. It's a seamless deal, and anybody can do it. Power Pro hollow ace is the type of product that it makes life easy for doing loop-to-loop connections. So check it out, Power Pro, at your favorite tackle store. Check out powerpro.com.
It's Yamaha's Super Sizzlin' Summer Sales Event. For a limited time, eligible new 60 to 350 horsepower 4-strokes include 2 free years of Yamaha extended service. And eligible new 2.5 to 50 horsepower 4-strokes include up to $3,000 in dealer credit. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Offer ends August 31st, 2015. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Padres are playing some kind of baseball.
San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Hey, as promised, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It's time for the Catch Report today, sponsored in part by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your true one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. They have a complete saltwater tackle shop, a full deli. They have trips and 6-pack charters, including the new Blackjack, a perfect 4-pack boat, and I got the opportunity this week to go on their normal 6-pack, the Impulse. Such an awesome ride.
What a great ride.
Oh, my God, it's so comfortable. And that boat, for a 6-pack boat, which, you know, is not a huge, it holds so much bait, which is so key when you're doing those bluefin and yellowfin stops to hold that amount of bait. It's awesome. A really, really great trip. Really enjoyed it on the Impulse. And don't forget, when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle, full of all of the freshwater tackle and live bait that you need for a great day on the lake. Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. And East County Bait and Tackle at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview and Lakeside. Check out DanaLanding.com for more information. Let's head on up to Dana War Sport Fishing and talk to the man. Captain Brian Woolley's on the line. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great.
Oh, you are. The fishing is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we were able to work our way through another pretty fun week up here. You know, we did also have some days were a little bit tougher than others. You know, we had a couple tough days for sure on this offshore scene. You know, keep in mind this is stuff that's in the 3/4 day and the all day range. You know, we're not able to get out to some of that stuff that's been biting really good. But you know, last week we saw some good sign of the fish actually settling in. You know, some fish on kelps and good schools. You know, we were able to find a good school in like some same areas, you know, day to day. But that stuff seems to have spread out a little bit more this past week. You know, there's a lot of really good water out here right now, and with that, you know, this fish is it's spread out a little bit. So right now it's all about finding, you know, the right kelp, the right dolphin pod, or, you know, the right bird school and making your catch. You know, we had some nail biter days this week for sure where, you know, you're driving around sweeping water all day long and, you know, you're not finding your stop until, you know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon. So certainly the fish is still there, and it's good catchable grade yellowfin. The stuff's 18 to 30 pounds, you know, that we saw this week, with some bigger fish, you know, up to that 60-pound mark. And there's still some real nice bluefin in the mix too, local with, big fish this week. Jesse Gould, one of our regulars, got an 85-pound bluefin on the Fury. He fished at the Fury one day this week and had a nice shot at that fish. And, along the beach here, the water is still gorgeous. The calico bass fishing, completely overlooked with this offshore stuff going on. It's still phenomenal. And still some real nice grade yellow, breezing along the edge of these kelp beds here locally, 25 to 35-pound fish being caught, right there in half-day land. So fishing is still good. There's still, we just want chances and opportunity to catching this fish right now, and we're certainly having that. So, you could get on your stop offshore there in the morning, midday, afternoon. It's just all about being, like I said, in the right place at the right time. So we have trips running every day, offshore and fishing locally. Of course, reservations are the only way to go right now. Everything from our limited load offshore trips to our twilight trips are filling up right now. So call the office, make your reservations. I can't stress the importance of that. So the number to the landing is 949-496-5794. Of course, you can book online at danawharf.com. And then on, a half-day trip or, something like that, you can link us right there through the West Hookup webpage and save a few bucks on one of those local trips. So it's kind of, what we had going on this week. And, we're hoping this epic weather we're going to have this next week is going to carry us through, and we'll keep the ball rolling, so to speak.
Still so cool that there's this grade of fishing, this close to home, this accessible from local trips out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. It's, like you say, it was maybe not the widest hot week, but still very, very good fishing. And with this week of good weather, it shows nothing other than just continuing to roll right along, Willie.
Go
fishing. I think that's true. I think we've been spoiled. We've had some really good days early in the year, and we're kind of like, hey, we're mid-August. It should be maybe a little bit better, but you just have to keep everything in perspective, for sure. And we're totally spoiled with the opportunity we've had this year, no doubt about it.
It's all good. Brian, appreciate it. Great report as always. Really look forward to hearing another one next week.
All right, guys, appreciate it, and you guys take care. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Willie. Appreciate it. Gundy Gunderson, surf guru extraordinaire. Are they biting?
What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet they are.
I'm telling you, man, this is just such a good stretch. The last month of Corbina fishing has been as good as, anyone's seen in a long time. And it's going to continue. We got through a couple exotics to throw in, too. We'll start up north. Wiley's reported great week of fishing. Anglers reporting catching fish just about anywhere they cast a line. On the Malibu beaches from the pier north, the waters are teeming with Corbina, the most they've seen in years. Anglers are reporting good bite on lugworms, fresh mussels, sand crabs, if you can find them, been a little spotty. The fish are running 2 to 4 pounds, real nice quality. And like I said, it's the most they've seen in years. The mixed bag fishing also been excellent in the rocky areas like El Corral, Las Flores, Big Rock guys fishing squid, getting calico bass, sandbat, sargo, yellowfin croaker, perch, cabezon. Just fishing to the south reported good Corbina fishing on South Bay beaches. Again, good quality fish, 2 to 4 pounds, taking mussel, sand crab if you can find it. 2 more striped bass were reported taking off Hermosa this week. Both fish running 12 to 15 pounds, real nice quality. One on a Lucky Craft, another on a cut bait. And then 2 yellowtail taking off White's Point, Palos Verdes there, little shore angling spot where the guys can get to some deeper water. And they had 2 of those better yellowtail. Big Fish and Seal Beach reported terrific Corbina action. Huntington Beach Pier was a hot spot. Anglers reported 3 to 4 pound Corbina mixed with sargo. Some of the sargo running up to 3 pounds there. Bloodworms and mussels. Fish near the pier piling was a ticket. Bolsa Chica, good for halibut. The 130 size Lucky Craft anchovy pattern working there. Hogan's reported lots of Corbina, poachies to cotton, lugworms, fresh mussels. The lugworm bite also very good at Doheny for mixed bag, yellowfin, spotfin, perch, sargo. Pacific Coast reported checking in a 4 pound, 8 ounce Corbina, taken off Army Navy Academy on a sand crab. And the shop reported excellent Corbina action up and down the beach there, Oceanside to Torrey Pines. And finally, off the Oceanside pier, a Dorado was taken on, believe it or not.
Hey, dude, no way.
Okay, is that federally regulated or state regulated?
Yeah, what's the onshore Pier Dorado regulations?
Well, let me tell you this. You know, it's a true story because it was taken on a clam.
That's so rad.
Clam?
Yeah,
That's so
it was
rad.
one of them smaller ones, but hey, that's a Dorado, and hey, that's taken off the pier, so that's a feather in the cap.
That's a rad one. That's rad.
Well, Gundy, as always, really great story and a great report this week, and who knows, maybe a marlin off the pier next week. It could happen.
How can you not have fun with this, huh?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Gundy. Thanks. Have a great week.
Have a good week, gentlemen.
Gundy. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the Catch Report today. Again, sponsored by Jobsite Supply, specializing in the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing trades. Come see the full line of Louisville ladders at Jobsite Supply. Plus, they have the exclusive logo lock system in-house, which allows them to take your company logo and your company name and embed it permanently into the fiberglass to help deter theft and keep track of your ladders on the job site. Check JobsiteSupplyCo.com for more details.
Wyatt in Long Beach, you're next up on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Wyatt.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, they're catching yellows on the half-day trips, and I was wondering if I had a better chance of catching one in the morning rather than the afternoon.
Oh, that's the age-old question, isn't it? What do you think, Craig?
It's that yellowtail or yellowfin. If it's yellowfin, that afternoon bite seems to be what has been happening. But you should be ready all throughout the day because it can happen any time.
Yeah, you heard Captain Drew earlier saying, it's biting all day.
Wyatt, I know in San Diego, at least, that yellowtail bite, it seemed like it flip-flopped. It was no doubt for sure the morning trip was catching, 25 or 30 every time, and the afternoon was a little bit slower. So everybody thought they had it figured out, and then like clockwork, it just seemed that the exact opposite happened, where it was better in the afternoon. So I don't think there's a thing you can do other than just follow the patterns. Watch the catch report for 3 or 4 days in a row, and if you can only make one or the other, if one seems to be a little bit better, then just play the odds and hop on the morning or the afternoon. But watch it for 3 or 4 days in a row and see if one
or
is doing
just go 3
better.
or 4 days ago. Go in the afternoon one day, go in the morning.
Now you're talking. Get the re-ride and hit them both up.
Yeah, good luck, Wyatt. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, how about we jump right back into the phones, this time talking to Doug, calling from Montebello. Hi, Doug. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, with all this warm water coming up, the skipjack coming up, is there anything else going to follow with it, too, as well?
Any in terms of game fish species? That's pretty much the standard of an El Nino. You get these exotic species pushing up. I know we've been seeing in the commercial fisheries some real interesting animals that have been coming up, some lancet fish and some different critters. I know that Chugi and the crew and their buoy gear project, they've been fishing deep, and they had an escalar the other day that they tagged. Yeah, so. Some interesting animals coming up. But at this point, with skipjack, we did see a lot of red crabs on our trip on the Royal Star down to the south. So there is that body of water. It really hasn't, the magnitude is late fall, early winter when we're really going to see that warm water, and that's when it's going to be interesting to see what pushes up with it.
I want a wahoo so bad in local waters.
Yeah.
I can taste it.
It could happen, right?
It could happen.
Yeah.
Then I want a triple tail.
So triple tail. Here we go. Oh, you don't want much, do you? So thanks a lot for the call, Doug. Question, though, you talked about Dorado are not federally regulated.
No, they are. They're part of our federal management plan, but we don't have a bag limit regulation for Dorado in the federal side. So it's part of the state bag limit.
What about marlin?
We do not have a federal bag limit on marlin. We have striped marlin, but striped marlin is one of our management species, as is swordfish, the two billfish. And commercially, all striped marlin have to be released. There's no retention of striped marlin in the commercial, so it's reserved entirely for the rec fishery. And again, that's tiered to the state regulation on striped marlin retention.
What about wahoo? Are they federally regulated?
They are not part of our fishery management plan. They're just, they're so far out of our core range that if we get them, they'll be part of the general bag limit that you have, with your state 20 fish general bag limit.
Oh, they'd be part of the state general bag limit.
I believe so.
Which so a general bag limit, is it 10 of one species, maximum of 20 combined?
Correct, except for albacore and bluefin.
Right.
But albacore and bluefin are the only ones outside of that.
And skipjack.
And skipjack.
So if I went out for a day and I caught 11 wahoo locally, I would be one over my limit.
I believe you would be, but I'd have to double-check the state reg on that.
I'm just messing. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including a lot of your phone calls. Lots of great stuff coming up. You stay tuned. Another full hour of Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
The fishing season started early, so now is the time to visit the best saltwater tackle store anywhere. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. With more inventory than ever before, we know the demand is going to be huge this season, so why wait? Visit us now and get your pick of the best equipment. Hey, there are already tuna, yellowtail, and marlin in local waters, so gear up now for what could be our best season ever. Take advantage of our expert staff that knows how to outfit you the right way. Come by and see us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego or saltwatertackle.com. Fisherman's Landing has been the choice of sport fishing anglers for decades, with the largest fleet of long-range boats worldwide, complemented by Southern California's finest charter and open party fleet. From a half-day trip on the Dolphin to overnight trips or a long-range adventure, you can count on Fisherman's Landing to deliver the best. Check the website for all that is going on or call Fisherman's Landing at 619-221-8500. Book now at fishermanslanding.com.
Imagine being home in the morning and fishing yellowtail and calicos at Cedros Island by the afternoon. Now you can with Cedros Adventures. Experience world-class yellowtail and calico fishing aboard comfortable pangas with local captains that know the island hotspots. Stay in Cedros Adventures' own private waterfront hotel and experience first-class meals and service with pickups in L.A., Orange, or San Diego County. You hop aboard a scheduled flight to Cedros Island to begin an incredible experience. Trips are all-inclusive and offer old-world hospitality and fantastic fishing. Cedros Adventures. Call 310-435-6353 or check cedrosadventures.com for rates and more information.
Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk Hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh, right.
San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Information is the key to success, and inside information is even better. When it comes to fishing, inside information is critical, and that's what FishDope.com delivers. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and save fuel. FishDope.com is the only SST service with a satellite oceanographic PhD on board, the only fish finding service with a spotter plane. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com boasts the largest code group anywhere, covering sport boats, commercial boats, and private boaters. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. What I'm telling you is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, good luck. Membership costs less than 40 gallons of gas for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, stay tuned for the special code to save $20 on a FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For over 20 years, AFCO has been known for its traditional fishing shorts. We now will also be known for our new line of next-generation fishing and board shorts. Our new M82 tactical fishing shorts feature quick-dry, high-tech, two-way stretch fabric, zipper fly, 6 functional pockets plus pliers pocket, sublimated camo print, and our DWR finish so your shorts don't get stained. Also new to the AFCO line are the M25 Stingray board shorts. shorts. The Stingray board shorts feature new, quick-dry, 4-way mind stretch fabric, modern zipper fly, 2 technical high cargo pockets with inverted zippers, silicone printed draw cords, along with our DWR finish to repel stains. Both shorts are new to the AFCO line and come in a variety of colors and sizes. These technically advanced fishing and board shorts continue AFCO's long tradition of providing the world's finest fishing and board shorts. Check them out today at better shops everywhere.
Summer has finally arrived, bringing warmer waters our way. And you know what that means? The offshore fishing this season could be one of the best ever. And speaking of best ever, have you seen the new 2015 Ford F-150? It's the most advanced F-150 ever, which is even more good news for fishermen. One of my favorite features is the available 360-degree camera. It lets you see everything around you, which really comes in handy when you're trying to launch on a crowded dock. It's also the first truck ever to be built with military-grade aluminum alloy. That means the new F-150 is up to 700 pounds lighter to accelerate faster and stop quicker. It also hauls more and tows more. And get this, it does it all more fuel efficiently. I highly recommend taking one out for a test drive. The new F-150 is the best thing to happen to fishermen in San Diego since the barbed hook. So stop by your San Diego County Ford dealer today. They'll be glad to hook